Right, good morning, everybody, and I hope you've had a good weekend out there in the sunshine. It was nice to see the sun, wasn't it? I'm certainly following a little bit of the snow around. I've got family who are in different parts of the country who have had snow, and we seem to be one of the only areas who haven't had snow yet. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, because once lots of snow falls, it can become quite a hindrance. But I think you're probably like me, that it'd be quite fun to have a bit of snow around, so we shall see how the winter continues. But it was a sunny weekend, so I hope that you got out and about and had some sunny walks and got lots of fresh air under blue skies. Also over the weekend and a little bit on Friday, well done to those of you in Year 6 who spent time either doing assessments or having interviews as part of the 11 Plus scholarship process. I do know in talking to them that all those who came across you at King's College, obviously through Teams, but those King's College staff who spoke to you really enjoyed sharing your company. So well done to you all. A really lovely reports coming back about the way in which you engaged. I myself also saw over 20 children who are not at King's Hall, who were going through a similar process, and I did some interviews with them, and they too were a really fab bunch. And so whatever the temporary outcomes of this particular process, I really hope that they all come and join us and join in with you, Year 6, as you become Year 7 in September, and we have a really purposeful group going forward. So I thought it was a terrific few sessions that I had, meeting some really lovely people. Here, I've been again in Teams, either in lessons with you or looking around at some of the work you're doing. And I continue to love seeing all of the work and output that you put out, you put there for us all to see. Your endeavor, your efforts, your creativity, and all the rest of it is really, really terrific. We have set up this creative curriculum, which I'm sure you're completely aware, because there are some brilliant teams there for you in your year groups under creative curriculum. They are about art, drama, DT, and music, 4 subjects in there. And I thought that I would give a little bit of a shout out to those of you who have done 3 of those different ones in a week, as well as somebody who's done 4, because of course it may be that you love your drama or you particularly like art. What we're really keen for you to do is try and experience each one of those 4. And if you can get 4 of them done in a week, that would be brilliant. So just as we get these things going, these are people who did 3 of those 4 topics in a week. Well done to Pippa Rowe, Helen Eames, Matthew Harbour, Quincy Ching, Tom Watson, Maddie Dorse, Sam Hawkins, and Isabel Noble. And the one who did 4 different disciplines in a week was Monty Lindsay Smith. So well done to all of you for getting stuck into our creative curriculum. And I can see lots of people who have done a bit of music, a bit of art, a bit of drama. So really well done, everybody. Keep looking in Teams, because the offers that those 4 members of staff are putting out there are really, really tremendous. One of the things that we saw, and I hope we're going to be able to show this to you in a moment. Again, lots of you have said lots of things, but this one's got quite a catchy little tune to it. Some of Year 8 was set a photo walk challenge. So they're combining taking your exercise with taking some photographs and picking up on some artistic things. So a photo walk, we were sent back. It's really short, so don't close your eyes. I wonder if we can play this video from Samuel. Okay, so well done, Samuel. Short and sweet, but I think it's worth remembering what goes into doing things like that. Not just Samuel's, but all of your others. You've got to find out the piece of work. You've got to take the inspiration from the teacher. You've got to get off your backside and go outside. You've got to look for those various bits and pieces. Samuel chose to put it together and put a little bit of music behind it. So it does take quite a lot of effort to respond and then to contribute things back. And your efforts and your contributions have been really great, and we really do appreciate them. I did mention this last week, so I'm going to say it again and give a couple of thoughts about it. This is term time. This is school time. It's not the holidays with some work attached. So here are a few bits and pieces that hopefully will help us all, because we must remember that we should behave, act, and work as much as possible as if we were at school. So a few bits and pieces. When we are here at school in a classroom, we have eye contact with you, we can see you, and we share a learning experience in the classroom with you. Now, most of you do have your cameras on, but please would you all put your cameras on whenever you're in lessons. So I'll say that again, your cameras should be on whenever you're in lessons. Here at school, we don't have mobile phones around at school. So just as if you were at school, you shouldn't be on your mobile phones when you're in lessons. Here at school, we don't chatter across the classroom. When the teacher is talking to us, we should be listening to them. And there'll be times the teacher might say, okay, go and have a chat over there and have a conversation about this. But in general, if you're in a lesson here at school in a classroom, you wouldn't be talking across the room. So please don't use the chat facility in Teams to have a private chat with somebody else who either's in your lesson or maybe not in your lesson. You should be concentrating on what the teacher is saying during those lessons. Also at school, we expect you to work hard and to do the work that is set in those lessons. So sometimes a teacher sets you a task and says, right, you've got 5 minutes, please get on with this. Sometimes it's a longer task. And it may be that you don't actually finish that task during the lesson and the bell might go and you've got to move off to your next subject or topic. But as long as you can say you have worked hard, you have done what you can, then it's okay not to have completed that task. But we do expect you generally to respond to what the teacher says and to do the work she is asking of you. So there's a few things there, just a reminder that whilst we're at home, you should be acting and behaving just as if we were at school. Please turn your cameras on. You should not be using your mobile phones because they wouldn't be here at school. Don't use the chat privately when you're in lessons, and do the best you can to get the work done in your lessons. But it could be there are times when you haven't done it. As long as you can say you've worked your hardest, all will be well. So now we move into week 3, and the initial effort to get going is behind us. So we are into that sort of steady state. I said we've been impressed. We really have with what you're doing. And I did talk towards the beginning about pacing ourselves. So I was thinking about 3 words. One is determination. So we've shown a lot of determination, and we still do. So determination for me is largely a mental decision. It's a decision to commit to making something happen. And we've done that with getting our heads around remote learning and being determined that it will work. Then the second word is stamina. Now, stamina is a bit of a mental thing, but it's largely a physical thing. Stamina is the physical energy and strength to keep something going. And so you can be determined to do something, then you need the stamina to sustain it, to keep it going along. And the third word that came to my mind was perseverance. And perseverance is our ability to keep going, even if things get a little bit tough, even if they get a bit difficult, or we get a little bit disappointed or upset about something. So as I keep saying, generally, we're so impressed with what you're doing, and the majority of things going forward are really brilliant. We just need to be aware that as we get into our steady state now, we're going to need to continue that determination. We're going to demand our stamina to keep us going, and perseverance to keep going even when things might get a bit tough. And things being a bit tough can be as simple as maybe they just become a bit ordinary, a bit routine. Oh, it's Monday again. Oh, it's Tuesday again. And it can be easy to fall into the sort of sense of it's not particularly exciting. So that's where the perseverance comes, just to keep going. So a couple of things I wanted to share with on the sort of perseverance side. Think of what I put out there in that first assembly, the advice from a tree. One of those was bend before you break. Humans are amazing, and I think we're showing that at the moment. We can adapt and we can absorb so much. There is so much more in you, but you may not know it yet. So bend before you break. It's okay to feel some of those strains and stress, but keep going. And the other thing about perseverance and this challenge of exploring what we can do. I thought I'd remind you of something that a chap called Don Perrott said last summer term. Don is a long distance swimmer, and he was one of our speakers here in the summer term, talking to year 8, who have now, of course, have left, gone into the college, into year 9 there. But Don was speaking to year 8 in the summer as part of their Challenging Yourself week that we had in the summer. Now, the children were asking questions around how he'd made it happen. How did he know he could do it? This great long swims he was doing. How could he swim that far? He said, well, you get to the point where you think you can't go on, but you just can. You simply didn't know it because you haven't tested yourself that far yet. So here we are, possibly finding out what our stamina is, what we can achieve, what is within us. So do enjoy testing yourselves. Do enjoy getting into all the challenges that are put out to you there. And let's continue to find out how much more we can do than we thought we could. I'm going to end with Chip's challenge and then a prayer. So the Chip's challenge, I've got 2 questions around a similar topic. One is a little easier perhaps, but maybe more relevant for those of you a little younger. So the first of my questions around the subject is, what is the name of the next president of the United States? And the second question, have there been more Democrat presidents or Republican presidents in the history of the United States? Now, it's not always been a Republican or a Democrat over all of the years, but more recently it has. Have there been more Democrat or more Republican presidents in the history of the United States? I shall leave you with those 2 Chips challenges. As usual, under these circumstances, email me the answers, either to the first one, what's the name of the next president, or you can send me a message on Teams, of course. And we're going to finish this assembly with a prayer from our book. I've gone for prayer 6 this morning, and I'm hoping that you will be able to see it so that we could say together. So let us pray. O Lord, grant us courage to face the things which make us afraid, strength to overcome temptations which come our way, perseverance to finish every task that we are set, and kindness so that we will be ready to help others. So help us to live in purity, to speak in truth, and act in love. Amen. So there we go. Week 3 lies ahead of us, and I hope it's a really terrific one for you. And you've got a little bit of time now to get yourselves organised before you're off into lesson 1 of the day. Bye-bye from me.